Hi guys! So I have been wanting to touch more on this topic, like more in depthly, for a while. Um, and that is the whole fragrance thing. Because it was one of the first huge things for me that not just hit home, but that I really learned about when I started switching what I was using. Um, and I've done, I feel like, a couple posts and videos in the past about specifically why it's important to know what's in your products. I posted on my personal Facebook timeline um, a post that I've shared in here before also about the number of chemicals in the products we use each day. And the Environmental Working Group was kind of the citing source of um, the number of chemicals. And it's incredible the numbers that you can find of what is in them. So what I really wanted to touch on was the word fragrance, for one, and what that means when you are looking at products. So, once again, the biggest thing I learned was looking for certain things in the ingredients list. The fact about the term fragrance that I wanted to share is that fragrance is kind of an industry term that's a catch-all. And it could mean basically anything. It can cover thousands and thousands of different chemicals, and the company themselves don't have to share that if they put fragrance and call it a trade secret. So basically, they aren't wanting to share their recipe so that it doesn't get stolen, right? Fair to them, but not nice for us as consumers and trying to know what's in our products. So that term kind of becomes a red flag for me anytime I see anything with it. Not that it's necessarily bad in it guaranteeing that's got to be icky ingredients, but if they're not sharing what it is and they can mask anything they want in that term, how do I know to trust it? There's a whole lot of ways you could approach putting fragrance into a product, and if you're not going to share what it is, there's a whole lot of horrible chemicals that could be used in it that cause serious harm, that are carcinogens, that are endocrine disrupting, which for me is huge. That I feel convicted to pay attention to that now. And that was really huge for me when I heard how much it could be masking and they don't have to share it. When you think about them not having to share what they're selling, that's it's very, very scary. That's insane. You would think there would be some kind of more accountability, and you kind of, as a consumer, have to do your own research. So I wanted to share just a couple of things that I first paid attention to in typical products that would be fragrance including. That would probably fall under that term. The first is sprays. So this is a room spray that I made. Cute little label with, I tried to draw flowers. I'm not an artist in any way at all, but you know, that's me. This just has witch hazel, water, and oils. I think I did tea tree, peppermint, maybe cedarwood. I would have to look back. It was a while back that I made this, but sprays, whether it's a hair spray, whether it's a room spray, whether it's a linen spray, whether it's a like just fragrance body spray. Those are going to have the term fragrance, and you're not going to know what is in it. You're not going to know where they're getting the fragrance in it from and how they're getting that. And this was a huge thing. I also did a lot with makeup. I have the makeup wipes right here, so that's the first thing I grabbed out of my bag. But I have the Savvy Minerals makeup line. Makeup is a huge one. Beauty products in general are a huge one because that's that whole industry that uses a lot of fragrance and things, right? You want it to smell good. You don't want it to smell not exciting or bland or maybe smell like the chemicals that are in it. I don't know. You don't want it to smell like that. You want it to smell good. You want it to have a good fragrance. But what's in those products? Not just the fragrance, but that's an additive too. What is in those? Where are they getting it? What's in the fragrance they are putting into it? There's a whole lot of chemicals in a list that you can find for things that are typically used. Things like sulfates, phthalates, I can never say that word right, but I think I did okay. Known carcinogens that are used for probably legitimate reasons for making the product good, maybe, but not really worth what you're risking by using it. And like I mentioned in my post yesterday, if you saw it, it's not just that one time of using it that is worrisome, right? We use a whole bunch of different products every day, some of them multiple times a day, like several times a day, whether it's cleaning products, the soap for washing your hands, washing your face, makeup, everything like that is why it's important. Because yeah, that one time or that one product, it's easy to say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. It's just this one product. Or it's just this one time. But those times, those products add up. They add up to all of those chemicals that are being hidden by that term fragrance. And for me, the biggest convictor was the endocrine system disruption, because I already have stuff happening in that department and I really don't need the products I use helping in any way. So that was the part that was most convicting for me, was that impact. But then you look at just safety and over time accumulating use and exposure to that product, and thinking about having kids, it's just more and more something I've learned to care about more than I knew that I had to. So I wanted to share that little truth about the term fragrance because I was very grateful when people shared it with me. And it made a huge difference for me. So I would love to talk about this more. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments, and I would love to talk about this more. I definitely want to dive more into that whole thing because I feel like there's so much more of a deeper part to this that I want to look at, as far as just the little things we don't think about like that. And I am not the type to do the whole fear thing. I didn't like anybody that I heard from about it putting that in there. It's just not helpful, and it's just a not constructive way of going about it. I feel like it's not a healthy way of approaching it either, because if I'm honest, I have been working on ditching and switching products for a little over a year probably, and I still don't have every single little thing out of my house. I have done the best I can, and I'm constantly upgrading things as we go along, and I'm still in the ditch and switch process because no, I didn't have the money to just completely overhaul everything we used. I wish that I could have done that, but that wasn't the case. I had to slowly replace things. And yeah. So I want to be educational and helpful with it and get information out there, not just scare you with what could be in your products. So if you want to look more into what's in your products, see if it has the term fragrance, download the Think Dirty app. I have it on my phone. I used it yesterday at Safeway on some things. It has a function where you can either search for the product or scan the barcode. And you have the option also to submit it for review if it's not a product they don't have in their system. Now, I will say, I kind of go off of the information that they tell me and make the best decision for me. They do have a scale of 1 to 10 for safety, and anything with fragrance in the term is like automatically red flagged as at least an 8, if not a 10, because of what it can be hiding. And if you just look at the surface rating, you won't really learn much about like what to look for yourself. But if you click on the details of it, figure out what it specifically is looking at, why it's saying that that's a bad thing, that can be really helpful. And I have learned a lot from doing that on the things that I've done that with. So that is one way of starting. Don't overwhelm yourself with it, and don't feel like you need to go crazy with it. But that was how I started things. So as far as how I've transitioned things and like what I've transitioned into using, I have done a ton of DIY and had a lot of fun with that. I also have just found a company that I really trust their products. I know from the information on the back exactly what's in it. I know it's the essential oils that are giving the fragrance and the helpfulness and everything, and it says on it, I think it is on this one, maybe it's in the other thing, no synthetic dyes, no phthalates, no sulfates, none of the icky ingredients. And you can see all of the ingredients, and it's got essential oils in it. It's got just really good ingredients. So a combination of those two has been what I have done. And I'm kind of just consistently working on that. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any other questions, let me know. If you would like to see more kind of talk about this, let me know, and I could definitely do more because I enjoy it. I definitely enjoy talking about it. Yeah. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday and a great start to your week. I will talk to you guys later.